Day two is about focus. Seniors often blame aging for blurry vision, but many times focus gets worse simply because the eyes never get a reset. Today's one change takes under 2 minutes, and it specifically targets the mechanism that helps you switch from reading your phone to looking at a road sign. You might assume that struggling to read a menu in a dim restaurant or squinting to read a text message is just an inevitable slide into decline. We are told that the lens of the eye hardens, and that is the end of the story. But that is only half the truth. While the lens does undergo changes, the muscles controlling that lens, the ciliary muscles, often suffer from a lack of dynamic movement. Imagine if you sat in a chair for 30 years without ever standing up, your legs would be weak, not just because you aged, but because you stopped using the full range of motion. Your eyes are no different. They have been locked in a short range prison, staring at screens and books, losing the ability to snap back into distance vision. Today, we break that prison. Before we dive into the exact protocol for day two, I want to welcome you back. If you are here, it means you successfully navigated day one and you are serious about preserving your independence. We are building a foundation that will serve you for the rest of your life. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We share the kind of deep science-backed senior health tips that doctors often overlook in a rushed 15-minute appointment. And I'm curious, let me know in the comments, when do you notice your focus failing the most? Is it morning or is it late at night after watching TV? Dropping a comment helps us build a community of people fighting for their health, just like you. Now, let's get into the physiology of why day two is so critical. To understand the solution, we have to understand the hidden culprit. It is a condition called accommodation spasm, or more commonly, locking up. When you focus on something close, the ciliary muscles contract to round out the lens. When you look away, they are supposed to relax. But according to research published in the journal Times Optometry and Vision Science *, prolonged near work demands can lead to a hysteresis effect, essentially, a lag where the muscle forgets how to let go. This isn't just about needing reading glasses. It is about the speed and quality of your focus. If you feel like your eyes are slow to adjust, that is the muscle lagging. The routine we are adding today is designed to restore that elasticity. It is not about forcing the eye. It is about reminding the brain and the muscle of their full range of motion. We are going to implement a technique I call the dynamic anchor shift. This is a more potent active variation of the classic 20-20-20 rule you may have heard of. The 20-20-20 rule is passive. It's a break. The dynamic anchor shift is active. It is a workout. We are going to perform this together. So I want you to get comfortable. Sit up straight. Posture is actually incredibly important here. A study from the Times, Journal of Physical Therapy, Science Times, found a direct correlation between forward head posture, that slump we all do, and increased eye fatigue and reduced visual acuity. When your neck is craning forward, you are compressing the nerves and blood flow that travel to the visual cortex. So roll your shoulders back, plant your feet flat, and take a deep breath. We need oxygenated blood reaching the eyes. Here's the step-by-step habit. We start with the near anchor. I want you to hold your thumb up comfortably in front of your face. Bring it as close as you can while keeping the fingerprint in sharp focus. For some of you, that might be 6 inches. For others, it might be 12. That is fine. We are not competing. We are calibrating. Stare at the unique swirls of your fingerprint. Really lock onto the detail. You are commanding the ciliary body to contract fully. Hold this for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, without moving your head, we initiate the far anchor. Look strictly past your thumb at an object across the room, or ideally out a window. You need a target that is at least 20 feet away. This is crucial because optometrically speaking, 20 feet is considered optical infinity. At this distance, the light rays entering your eye are parallel, meaning the ciliary muscle must fully relax to focus. Find a specific detail, a leaf on a tree, a corner of a picture frame, a light switch. Do not just stare into space. Target a detail. Lock it in. Feel the release in your eyes. Hold for 5 seconds. Now we begin the dynamic switch. This is the core of the day two routine. We are going to toggle between the near anchor and the far anchor, the distant object, rhythmically. Focus on the thumb, clear. Focus on the distance, clear. Back to the thumb, back to the distance. We are going to do this for 10 repetitions. What we are doing here is essentially doing push-ups for the focusing mechanism. As you do this, you might feel a slight resistance or delay. That is normal. That is the rust coming off the mechanism. A study conducted by researchers at the University of Kansas on perceptual learning showed that repetitive visual tasks can actually improve neural processing speed in older adults. You aren't just stretching a muscle, you are speeding up the signal from the eye to the brain. You are teaching your brain to process the image faster. Keep going. Thumb, distance, keep your breathing steady. Let's pause for a second, shake your hands out, blink rapidly a few times. That was one set. The day 2 routine requires you to do just 3 sets of these 10 repetitions. It takes less than 2 minutes. But the magic isn't just in the movement, it is in the biology of what is happening during that movement. This brings us to a critical component that many people miss, the blink. While you are focusing, you must be conscious of your blinking. When we concentrate, our blink rate plummets. A study in Times, the New England Journal of Medicine, Times highlighted how reduced blink rates during concentration lead to tear film evaporation, causing a breakdown in visual quality known as evaporative dry eye. If the surface of your eye is dry, it is like looking through a dirty windshield. No matter how strong your muscles are, the image will be blurry. So during your dynamic anchor shift, I want you to intentionally blink hard every time you switch your focus. Look at your thumb, blink, look at the distance, blink. This recoats the cornea with fresh tears, smoothing out the optical surface. Now, let's address a common mistake I see all the time. Seniors often try to do this routine without their glasses or with the wrong glasses. If you wear progressive lenses, this exercise can be tricky because you might be tilting your head to find the sweet spot in your lens. For this routine, if you can see your thumb reasonably well without glasses, try doing it with the naked eye. We want the muscle to do the work, not the lens. However, if your vision is very poor without correction, wear your distance glasses. Do not wear reading glasses for this, as reading glasses artificially magnify the image and rob your muscle of the need to contract. We want to challenge the eye, not coddle it. Another fascinating aspect of why this works involves the brain's neuroplasticity. We often think of the brain as fixed after a certain age, but that is a myth. The visual cortex, located at the back of your head, is constantly updating its interpretation of the world. By actively engaging in this focus switching, you are stimulating the neural pathways that govern accommodation. A landmark study published in the Journal Times, Nature Times, demonstrated that the adult visual cortex retains a significant degree of plasticity and can be retrained to improve visual performance. You are literally rewiring your brain to see better. You are telling your brain, I am not done using this function. Keep it active. Let's transition to the why regarding timing. You might be wondering, when should I do this? The best time for the day 2 routine is mid-morning and mid-afternoon. These are the times when the cortisol levels in your body shift and fatigue typically sets in. By inserting this routine into your midday slump, you are providing a reset button. Think of it like a palate cleanser for your vision. If you spend your morning reading the paper or on an iPad, your eyes are stuck in near mode. If you don't unlock them, that spasm carries over into the evening, which is why your vision seems to get worse as the day goes on. If you are finding these detailed breakdowns helpful, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button. It tells me that you appreciate the why and not just the what. And it helps this video reach other seniors who are struggling with their sight. Now, we need to discuss the environment. Where you do, this matters. You need good lighting. As we age, our pupils become smaller and less responsive to changes in light, a condition known as senile miosis. This means less light reaches the retina. A report from the Lighting Research Center indicates that a 60-year-old needs nearly 3 times as much light as a 20-year-old to perform the same visual task. If you try to do your focus exercises in a dim room, you are straining the system. Go to a window, use natural light. The full spectrum of sunlight, even on a cloudy day, provides the high contrast your retina needs to lock focus sharply. If you can't get to a window, use a high quality, bright LED bulb that mimics daylight. Do not do this in a dark room with a single lamp. That creates glare and shadow, which confuses the focusing system. Let's talk about the feeling of failure. Some of you might try this today and feel frustrated. You might look at the distance and it remains blurry for 3 or 4 seconds before clearing up. You might look at your thumb and it never quite gets sharp. I want to tell you that is okay. That lag is exactly what we are diagnosing and treating. Do not be discouraged. That delay is simply the data point telling us where the work needs to be done. It is like trying to touch your toes for the first time in years. You might not reach them today, but if you stretch every day, you will get closer. Visual hygiene is the next concept we need to integrate into this routine. It's not just about the exercise, it's about what you do immediately after. After you finish your 3 sets of dynamic anchor shifts, do not immediately dive back into a spreadsheet or a novel. Give your eyes 2 minutes of soft focus. Look around the room without locking onto anything specific. Let your peripheral vision engage. This allows the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, to take over and calm the visual stress. This is crucial because chronic stress keeps the pupils dilated and the muscles tense. A study in the Times Journal of Behavioral Optometry Times suggests that chronic visual stress can lead to systemic fatigue. By taking that 2-minute soft focus break, you are signaling to your whole body that it is safe to relax. Now, how do we track improvement? This is a scientist in me talking. We cannot manage what we do not measure. I don't want you to just hope it's working. I want you to know for day 2, your metric is focus lag time. Here is how you track it. Tomorrow morning, pick up a cereal box or a book, look at a specific letter, then look at a clock on the wall, count the seconds it takes for the clock to become crystal clear. 1, 2, clear. That is your baseline. Write it down. In 1 week of doing this routine, I want you to test it again. You will likely find that 1, 2 becomes just 1. Eventually, it becomes instantaneous. That split-second difference may not seem like much, but it is the difference between feeling confident driving and feeling hesitant. It is the difference between recognizing a face across the street instantly and feeling unsure. There is another way to track this, and it involves the near point of convergence. This is a fancy term for how close can I see. Hold your thumb out and slowly bring it toward your nose. Stop the moment it splits into 2 or becomes incredibly blurry. Measure that distance. Maybe today it is 15 inches. Write it down. After a week of the dynamic anchor shift, try it again. You might find you can bring it to 13 inches. That is a tangible, physical reclaiming of your visual space. You are literally expanding the world in which you can function clearly. I also want to address a question I get often. Is it too late for me? I have patients in their 80s who start these routines. While we cannot reverse a cataract with exercise, that is a structural change, we can absolutely improve the efficiency of the remaining visual processing. A study published in the Times, Journal of Gerontology Times, highlighted that even in advanced age, cognitive and sensory training interventions show robust positive effects. The hardware might have some wear and tear, but the software, your brain and nerve impulses, is capable of constant upgrades. Never tell yourself it is too late. The body is incredibly forgiving if you just give it the right inputs. As we move toward the end of this session, I want to remind you of the bigger picture. Day 2 is just one piece of the puzzle. We are building a comprehensive armor for your eyes. Yesterday, we discussed hydration and the foundation. Today is about dynamic focus. But what happens when the lights go down? What happens when you are driving at twilight? This leads us directly to what is coming in day 3. Tomorrow, we are going to tackle contrast sensitivity and low light vision. If you have ever felt unsafe driving at night because the glare from oncoming headlights blinds you, or if you struggle to distinguish steps on a staircase in a dim hallway, day 3 is going to be a game changer for you. We will be discussing a nutritional switch and a specific dark adaptation technique that special forces and pilots use to maximize their rod cells, the cells responsible for night vision. You do not want to miss that. But for today, your homework is simple. 3 sets of 10 repetitions of the dynamic anchor shift. Remember, thumb, blink, distance, blink. Do it with intention, do it with good posture, do it with good light. Let's recap the benefits so you are clear on why you are investing this time. First, you are breaking the accommodation spasm, that locking mechanism that makes your vision feel stiff. Second, you are increasing blood flow to the ciliary body, keeping the tissue oxygenated and healthy. Third, you are utilizing neuroplasticity to train your brain to process visual depth faster. And fourth, you are actively rehydrating the eye through conscious blinking, combating the dry eye that blurs vision. You have the tools, you understand the science. Now, it is about execution. I want you to feel empowered. When you look in the mirror, do not see an aging senior losing their faculties. See a person who is actively training, maintaining, and fighting for their quality of life. Independence is not a gift, it is a practice. And today, you practiced well. I have one final request for you today. In the comments below, I want you to write, I am regaining my focus. Writing it down is a psychological commitment. It sets the intention for the day. And if you found value in this deep dive, please like this video and share it with a friend or family member who might be accepting blurry vision as just part of life. Let's show them it doesn't have to be that way. Your health is worth fighting for, and your vision is your window to the world. Keep it clear. I will see you tomorrow for day 3.